Hello, it's ShadeX, and today I'll be talking about Chowder's mysterious disappearance. I know the show got cancelled, but that's not what I'm talking about here. I remember hearing about the show being cancelled because of CN Real years ago as a kid, and I was really saddened by this news. What I really am talking about is how Nicky Jones, the voice of Chowder, disappeared after the show ended. Yeah, after Chowder, he really didn't do anything. Crazy, right? I wonder where he went. These two YouTubers wondered too, just like me.
So the thing is about Nicky Jones is like, alright, I get that maybe he quit acting and didn't really want to have like an online presence so no one would harass him or anything, but it's like, usually you'd find some information about that, like online, like, oh yeah, he quit acting and, you know, left everything, and you know, that'd be perfectly fine, but there's just no information, there's nothing, it's just like he was there and then he wasn't anymore.
Things got kinda weird when I started looking into Nicky Jones, the voice actor of Chowder, because he's kinda just vanished.
A source that I've found says that he is still alive, but I don't know how they're getting this information, but I can only assume that he is still alive. There's no death record from what I've seen.
A random photo of him, or at least someone that they claim is him. This does look like a grown-up version of him, but at the same time, there's no source on it, so I still wasn't really convinced.
So where is he now? I did some investigating on Discord, and I think I may have found him. Hello. Hello, Nick Jones, the voice of Chowder. I've been seeing YouTube videos saying you've disappeared off the face of the earth or that you're dead. So are you alive?
No.
Okay. In all seriousness, he's on TikTok now. I contacted him on his Instagram. I interviewed him on my podcast, Good Vibes. More on that later, but first I'll talk about the show he played the lead character in. Chowder, if you aren't aware, was my favorite Cartoon Network show as a kid. It's about a purple cat, bear, rabbit thing who likes to eat food, and he works as a apprentice to Mung Doll, a chef. I still love the show even now. While Hey Hey It's Knishmas is the most well-known holiday-themed episode of the series, which I reviewed previously, I just remembered that it had a Halloween special as well. That Chowder episode had two segments in it titled The Spookiest House in Marzipan and Poultrygeist. The one segment I remember the most is Poultrygeist, but in this video I'll be going over both. Also, I asked Nick Jones about what it was like working on these two episodes, so stay tuned for that. The first segment, The Spookiest House in Marzipan, has an interesting start with a puppet version of Gazpacho opening the special. It reminds me of the Rankin Bass inspired opening to Hey Hey It's Knishmas. Gazpacho warns the viewer that this episode is scary.
It just might scare your pants off, blah, blah, blah. That's why I always remember to bring an extra pair, blah.
I love how puppets were used for this opening. I love how the show Chowder utilizes mixed media. Stuff like this is great. The episode's real start is hilarious too. Chowder wakes up to lightning and it appears he pissed himself when in reality he broke his water bottle. Schnitzel breaks one too when he is afraid of the lightning. Mung mocks them for being easily scared, then gets scared along with them when they all see Truffles, who has just woken up. Despite screaming along with Chowder and Schnitzel, he reassures them Truffles isn't a zombie but just has morning face. Anyway, the main plot of the episode begins when Truffles answers a call for a delivery of a schmeg salad sandwich. The main plot of the episode is that Chowder must deliver the sandwich to a scary house near Mung's catering building. There's a funny fourth wall break where Mung pulls the background to drag Chowder closer to the scary house. Chowder runs away out of fear and tries talking to Gazpacho, who's trying to get with a giant woman. Chowder brings up a weird fact about him and the woman leaves. Chowder then somehow appears as a giant chicken and tells Gazpacho he needs to deliver food to a spooky house. Then it's revealed revealed to be a separate character named Mr. Chicken. The comedy in this show is just plain genius. Anyway, Chowder convinces Gazpacho to go to the house with him, but he gets scared. Another water bottle joke then happens, and the running gag is still hilarious. Gorgonzola sees the two being afraid and mocks them, but as he approaches the house to deliver the sandwiches himself, he gets afraid. There is a scene where Gorgonzola gets afraid after hearing a bad pun. Of course, it isn't Chowder without bad puns.
Get him? We're holding leaves.
Bad joke!
Anyway, the three are too afraid to go to the house until Panini brings Chowder a triple-layer thrice cream bingo cake. Gorgonzola decides to use it as bait since old people love cake and bingo. The plan is to give it to the scary old lady so Chowder can hit her with a fish. Anyway, Panini delivers the cake and she gets dragged into the house with Gorgonzola. Chowder is afraid, but he confronts his fear by opening the door. What's hilarious is Panini thinks he's there to save her, but in reality he just wants the cake and he just slaps her.
Chowder, did you come to rescue me? Out of my way! Wait, Chowder, it's not what you think. Now where's my cake?
It turns out that Gazpacho's mom is the one behind the door. Well, it's confusing to be honest. It is likely Gazpacho in a wig since he switches between himself and his mom. This is clearly a homage to the horror film Psycho, where Norman Bates impersonates his mom. Anyway, it seems Gazpacho's mom is gonna kill Chowder, Gorgonzola, and Panini, but they just eat the thrice cream cake instead. Chowder explains his fear of being chopped up to her, and she says she will kill them afterwards. Chowder and the kids scream, then the episode ends. Puppet Vampire Gazpacho then confirms the episode is non-canon. Or is it?
That was scary. Good thing it wasn't real. Or was it? Nah, it wasn't. But maybe it was. Nah, I'm just kidding around. It wasn't.
Overall, a very hilarious episode. My favorite joke was Chowder essentially blackmailing everyone all throughout it.
Gazpacho likes to wear his underwear when he takes a shower because he's scared of being completely naked. Gazpacho is completely hairless from the neck down, so he glues carpet all over his body.
Win, I'll help you. Just chill with that, all right? Just chill. Who you play dirty?
Gorgonzola can never find underwear small enough for him, so he wears girls' underwear. Shh, okay. I'll help. Man, you play dirty.
Yeah, right? That's what I was saying.
While the first segment isn't scary, it's still a really funny episode. However, I remember the segment that followed creeped me out a lot as a kid. Somewhat, anyway. The next segment is Poultrygeist. The title is a food pun of the movie Poultrygeist. I really love the opening where it looks like Mung's telling Chowder not to kill him, when in reality he's hitting red vegetables with a mallet. Mung tells Chowder he's squishing the squish squash wrong and that he'll teach him it later. Anyway, soon enough, a ghost of some sort hits Mung with kitchen utensils. Chowder, Mung, and Schnitzel then see stuff float around the kitchen and hide behind the fridge. There, Mung finds an old dish he made years ago. Schnitzel, who has a book called The Snackrownomicon, reveals it's a Poultrygeist. Monk finds out it was an uneaten flurky dish. Monk says it must be disposed at once, but Chowder eats it. He then gets possessed by a Poultrygeist named Florentine. Overall, the episode is great. It's a parody of The Exorcist. Chowder does the iconic head turn thing characters possessed by demons do. He also pukes on Schnitzel, which leads to Mung puking on him. Poor Schnitzel. Anyway, Florentine likes possessing Chowder and wants to stay in his body. He wants revenge against Mung for letting him rot behind the fridge for several years. As revenge, Florentine destroys things in Mung's kitchen. It's really funny.
No! My cookbooks! No! My dish is destroyed!
Anyway, Florentine gets captured after Schnitzel hits him on the head with the Snackonomicon. There's a fake out where it appears Schnitzel is going to hit Chowder with a mallet and kill him, when in reality, he just hit a squish squash. Anyway, Mung realizes Chowder must be brought to the graveyard to be free of Florentine. Mung then goes through the portal with everyone, and they are in a boat tour ride. CH Greenblatt even makes a cameo as his puppet self. We then get a funny reveal that to get rid of Florentine, Chowder must be on a treadmill.
We've finally made it to the Hall of Aerobics.
Okay, why is there aerobics equipment in the graveyard?
Woman, don't you know? It's to exercise demons.
Yep, these puns, while corny, are really funny. Anyway, Florentine loses so much weight in Chowder's body that he possesses a new Flurky. The four then eat him. It's then revealed that part of him still lives in Chowder. Then the episode ends. Honestly, this segment is the most memorable out of the 2 Chowder episodes. It had such an impact on me that I drew fan art of that episode. Anyway, I wonder how Nick Jones feels about those episodes. So, which episode out of the 2 was the most fun? Poultrygeist or Spookiest House and Marzipan, because there's the 2.
So I do remember, unfortunately, I don't remember too much about the Spookiest House and Marzipan, but I remember laughing a lot about the Poultrygeist.
Yeah, that one's really funny. Spookiest House and Marzipan, I watched it, and like Chowder is just like really, he's like pretty much blackmailing people in that episode, like shouting rumors, like stuff, something about gazpacho. Something about Gorgonzola, and like people are like, "Wow, Chowder, you're playing dirty." I think they specifically say that, like, you're being dirty, you're being like toxic, you're being like nasty. But yeah, what do you remember about Poultrygeist?
The thing I remember most about Poultrygeist was at least going through the storyboard was like how weird it looked seeing like Chowder like super duper skinny.
Oh yeah, that scene where he's on the treadmill, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like, and the funny thing about Poultrygeist is it's not actually, like whenever I get possessed, it's not like me doing the voice, but I actually did read for all of it.
Wow.
We just ended up not, I mean, a total right call, by the way, because you know, me as like a 10-year-old doing like a scary like possessed voice, wasn't gonna sound good. But I in the studio I did read for that, and then they made this like, let's maybe not go with that, which totally right call.
Yeah, that episode definitely had an impression on me as a kid, because I drew like the character Florentine like on Halloween, like I think after the episode aired. It must have been, I'll post it here. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
I actually forgot that's what his name was.
Yeah, but Fred Tatastic, or don't know how to pronounce the last name, but yeah, that guy I found out voiced Florentine.
Yes. Yeah. I worked. I think he's a good dude. I think he was on a couple episodes, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, he's a good dude.
But yeah, it was great hearing your insight on these episodes. Yeah, really nice talking to you again after the podcast we did.
Absolutely. Always happy to talk with you guys.
Yeah. All right, thanks. But yeah, voice actor of Chowder's still around. Where can people find you?
I am on Instagram and TikTok under the name Nick Slayer of Nar, GNAAR.
Now that I reviewed the 2 Halloween episodes, I'll talk about what Nick Jones is doing now. Nick has a decent following on TikTok where he talks about his work on Chowder, and he recently was a part of a rock song. I wonder what that sounds like. That was fire. Nick Jones definitely has a future in music, so I hope Hope he can get a career in that field. Anyway, to conclude, I want to thank Nick Jones for not only doing a podcast with me and the Vibez Crew, but also for appearing in this video. The dude was by far the best guest so far on Good Vibes, and I highly recommend everyone watch that episode. Nick answered all the questions asked by us and the listeners perfectly. It's been really fun getting to know the guy, who I honestly never expected to talk to. I still talk to Nick Jones along with my other friends pretty frequently, which is great. Anyway, as a thanks for being on the podcast, I decided to buy an Optimus Prime off Nick's eBay, and I also got a storyboard page of my choice, which he signed as a bonus. The day I got it, I bought a frame since I just had to keep it in good condition. Overall, I think it's great Nick Jones is back in the public eye. If I told my younger self that me and the Vibez Crew would have the first interview with Nick Jones on YouTube years later after the end of Chowder, I wouldn't believe it. Chowder was my favorite show as a kid, and I'm glad I now know the voice behind the purple cat bear rabbit thing. This has been ShadeX, and I hope you all feel nothing but good vibes.
We're under the influence of low pressure and this weather front pushing north.